All right. I think we're officially live here, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It is Friday. Happy Friday, first and foremost. We've got an awesome program started here today. We're so excited to be here. Team Backpacks for Life, along with some incredible veterans reporting in from mostly the Northeast. I think we're all New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and we've got Ashley down in DC. So we're Northeasterners for the majority. Welcome to our Women Veterans Day, or the Women Veterans Appreciation Day live stream. We're super excited to be here with you all and just have a really great conversation about how we can support our women veterans and do our part, both as members of the veteran community and as civilians alike. So we'll be posting a bunch of resources, great articles, and great nonprofits and programs that you can keep in touch with that are doing great things for the women veteran community. So we'll be posting all that in the comments along the way. If anyone has questions, feel free to drop those in the comments as well. We'd love to hear from you. So before we kick off, just to kind of give a little bit of background, for the past 11 days on social media, we have been sharing a campaign around women veterans. So every day doing 2 posts a day, one sharing some veteran women statistics, so things including military sexual trauma, single motherhood, transition rates, PTSD, and some of those staggering numbers that we're seeing among the women veteran community, not only to educate people, but to really create a sense of awareness. And then we also have been sharing incredible pictures of our women veterans. So we've shared Ashley, we've shared Jamie, we've shared testimony from Lucy. We've got Gina's post coming up next. So you'll see all those faces on our social media over the last 11 days, including today, which has been awesome to just hear from women of their experience on what they want others to know and what it's like serving in the military for them and their transition to civilian life and all that good stuff. So that's why we want to come together here and wrap up our campaign with a conversation to kick off Women Veterans Appreciation Day, which is tomorrow, June 12th. So we're super excited to be here. There's a couple of events also happening that are kicking off tomorrow, at least in New Jersey. So we'll share those as well in the comments. But for now, I'm going to turn it over to Brett to kind of talk about how we came across this idea. As you know, we are always doing a little bit of crazy things at Backpacks for Life. We're entrepreneurs at heart. We're always looking for new and fun ways to educate our community. So Brett, take it away.
So you are definitely going to get a little show at the end. This came from a place. I'm going to back up a little bit and say, why are you doing this? What's going on? What made you really want to hone in on women veteran topics and initiatives? And so it was in July. I actually have an article off. It was July 21st, 2020. A gentleman named Sherman, who was a Marine officer, he was down at the Capitol, and I just wanted to kind of read a little quick. This kind of was very eye-opening to me, and something that I was like, what? I kind of looked internally on this when I read this, and it was so. He was at a press conference following the support of Justice for Vanessa. Vanessa was she was a veteran. She was in the military and had tragically she was murdered. Just a lot of stuff going around about Vanessa and just what happened with her higher ups, neglect from her higher ups. There was just all these different things that happened. And we'll obviously read most articles about Vanessa and a couple other female vets that was in the media in 2020. So he talked about this press conference for support of Vanessa, and you think, okay, majority of military is males, so he ended with this post that just him and another male were at this press conference. Now, I'm not coming from a place to say, hey, Jane, what's going on? We need to do better. Kind of like shaming you, but just coming from a place of turmoil, like I started to think, like, why wasn't I there? What's going on? Majority of the military is males, but there was only 2 men at this event to help and support awareness, but also to be side by side by that's when we would go out to the battlefield, we're sitting side by side with our female veterans. I would take a vote for them. I would do whatever it takes to help our female vets when I was on active duty. So does that just stop when we go into the civilian world. And EAS, no, we're there for life. They're our sisters in arms. And so I wanted to figure out a way that I could really capture somebody's attention. And just, there's so much content out there. Everybody's scrolling. We got Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all these platforms. So how do I really capture somebody's just attention? Well, at Backwards Life, we would love to push the norms of society. We would love to go.
Can you hear us now? All right, we're good. This is what going live is all about, people. You never know when something's gonna. Yeah, bro was really going in. But let's just like, I think we're really trying to focus on a few things, right? It's creating awareness, championing our women veterans, celebrating them, but also understanding the work that needs to be done.
And so just going back to where I left off, these are sisters in arms. This is, again, not me just trying to preach and talk to our male veterans or civilians or anybody besides their women veterans. This is me talking internally to myself and what I need to do better to help spread the word and the message, and to be there side by side advocating for justice for our female veterans in whatever capacity. And so, we were able to, let's explain this and kind of how we came to. But basically, we had this company wanted to do a promotional outreach event for Backwards Life. You wouldn't really talk about that real quick, and then I'll kind of get into what we're doing
with House of Beauty, right? Yeah. So everybody that's here on camera received a package from us. It's for some people probably the first time they've ever been gifted a lipstick. And we're going to get into what the lipstick challenge is in a little bit. But a few months ago, a small business came to us called House of Beauty. They're based in Bergen County, New Jersey. And they created the Roger That lipstick. It is an awesome red lipstick. They custom blended it for us for the launch of our search platform, Roger. And in turn, it turned out to be this perfect correlation where we could try to stop people from scrolling and take a look at this lipstick challenge that we're going to be launching at the end of this conversation. So stay tuned. We're going to get there. We're super excited. But without further ado, I want to get into our conversation, right?
So with this whole challenge, really before we get into the conversation with this challenge, I was thinking, okay, how do we get the message out there? How do we, and this is again me talking internally, how do I help our female vets? How do I really get something to potentially go viral or get outside of that military bubble? And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to show, and there's a lot of symbology behind the lipstick challenge, but I'm going to show that I'm willing to get outside of my comfort zone and show vulnerability to help get the message out there. And vulnerability is, in my opinion, is a good thing to show vulnerability. I feel like in the military, we think we're all hard chargers, and nobody really wants to show that vulnerability or ask for help. Or ask for help isn't a sign of weakness; it's a sign of respect for yourself, but a sign of strength. And so I wanted to do something a little silly, a little taboo against the grain of social norms, to do this lipstick challenge where we talk about a serious subject about women veteran issues, and then we do something where people are going to stop on their social and listen because they're going to see something that's a little unusual. And that's unusual for me. That is absolutely okay. And if you wear lipstick or you whatever, however you identify, that is absolutely okay. That's not the point. The point is we're going to do something that to force people to stop and listen. And how do you do that? Well, you got a bunch of hard charging males and females putting lipstick on, but more so the males putting on the lipstick, and then from there we're going to nominate somebody else, just like Ice Bucket Challenge. So something that we can do that's fun, entertaining, anybody can get involved in. It shows that we're okay to show vulnerability, and doing so, get the word out there.
Absolutely. And we are getting a few messages on our Facebook live stream that audio is a little bit choppy. So bear with us. We're going to be sharing links throughout the entire live stream about things we're talking about. But let's get into this. I want to start with some introductions, and in no particular order, going to go around the room. We'd love for all of our panelists to share your name, your branch of service, and what you're doing now, whether that's being an entrepreneur, if you're serving veteran service organizations, we want to hear from you. So I'll kick it over to Terrell to join us and introduce first.
Hello, everyone. My name is Terrell. You guys can hear me clear? Great. My name is Terrell Washington. I'm a Jersey Cityan, and I'm an Army vet, 82nd Airborne Air Assault, and I did some Special Forces training. I linked up with Alexa and Brett a couple years back until they brought me on to be a board member of Backpack for Life. It was a natural fit. So, you know, I love helping my vets. I love civilians as well, but my vets hold a special place in my heart. And I help out with Jersey City veterans as well as any vets I meet on the street. I'm currently about to buy a home through the VA. And, you know, I work doing construction and demolition with my uncle's company. And I'm just glad to be here to bring awareness to women veterans.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Terrell. Jamie, take it away.
Hey there, Jamie D. Paola, United States Marine. I served from 1975 to 1999. I've been retired 22 years. In my retirement now, I'm a professional volunteer. So all I do is volunteer for a number of mostly veteran organizations, and then my church, I help out with that. But I am a program manager now with the Backpacks for Life. It's something new to me in this calendar year, so it's very exciting to be part of this team. I'm also currently working with the Rhode Island Gold Star Families Memorial Monument team, leading these Gold Star moms into helping with fundraisers and the logistics of the foundation work and networking with the governor and the lieutenant governor's office. So those kind of things keep me busy. I'm also a member of the Marine Corps League, American Legion, and currently, well, actually just recently, recently I became a member of the Vietnam Veterans of America, since I am a Vietnam veteran, believe it or not, because I came in so early, whatever. Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jamie. Really appreciate it. All right, John.
Can you guys hear us now, or should we take?
I've got it coming over clear now.
Can you guys still hear us?
Yeah, I think you guys
Joey's
sound
like,
better when you don't have your. I think when you guys take off the headphones, you sound better.
All right, we'll remove them. Next up, we're going to go to John for introduction.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Honored to be among greats here in this panel and audience as well. My name is John Escalante. I live in Queens, proactively work out of New York City. Marine Corps, 28 years, active duty, active reserve combined. I am a servant leader. I serve my veterans in many capacities. If I'm not the subject matter expert in any of them, I find someone for them. I belong to numerous organizations, not-for-profit. I'm a Marine Corps Leaguer, VFW, American Legionnaire. I have my hands on a lot of cookie jars. I serve on a lot of advisory boards, just to get a good pulse on the veteran community and the community itself. I met Brett at the New York City Marathon Expo. I think it was like 5, maybe 6 years ago, when he was a little wet behind the ears with his program, and look where it is today. So I am fortunate. I am honored to call Brett and Alexa friends since the very onset of the organization. I've seen it mushroom and grow to where it is now. And as scary as it is, it's still in its infancy. And I see this in 10 years growing out to be a nationwide platform with the recognition and the work that they're doing. And they're going to expand, maybe even globally. You never know. Just throwing that out, throwing you guys under that global bus someday. honored to be among greats.
You're too kind. You're too kind. Maybe one day we'll be global. You'll be the one we thank first. Thanks so much, John. All right, next we're gonna head over to Joey.
Hello, everyone. First off, thank you, Brad and Alexa, for having me here. It's great to see so many familiar faces, especially working in the veteran realm. So hello, everyone. My name is Joey Mack. I'm the Military and Veteran Program Coordinator for Hope for the Warriors. I'm also an entrepreneur. I own a business called the Mobile Cigar Lounge. I'm currently located in Opequon, New Jersey. And just are my two brothers and sisters before me served in the United States Marine Corps from 2005 to 2011 as a grunt, as a 0311. Looking forward to this conversation. I think this is a serious one. Absolutely love it. So, Brad and Alexa, thank you for having me here, and looking forward to hearing from everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Joey. Really excited to have you here with us as we're kicking off our Women Veterans Appreciation Day celebration. If you're just joining us, welcome. We're starting with introductions. This incredible panel is with us, and we're going to be talking about all things women veterans, celebrating them, talking about the topics and hard things and things that we all can do to help support our women veterans. So next up, we have Ashley.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Gorbolja Maldonado. I am an 8-year Army veteran of the National Guard. I was a military police NCO, or non-commissioned officer. I currently serve as a public affairs officer for the Department of Veteran Affairs, where I work in the Department of Veterans Affairs, Veterans Health, if you shall. So I work to, communicate with veterans on a daily basis. I additionally am a founder and CEO of Guide on Education Consulting, where I help build communities, programs, and people. And finally, I am a co-host for the National American Legion podcast, in which I am a proud member of the American Legion, in which, you know what, they've done so much for me over the years. So between all of those events, all of the things that I volunteer for, I work very closely with numerous organizations, and I'm really excited to be here to have a very genuine and real talk conversation about women veterans and the issues facing women veterans today.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley. We're excited you're here. Next up, Gina. Oh, we've got you on mute, I think.
Gina, you're on mute.
Let me unmute you here and we'll see if that works.
Hi. So, I'm Gina Palute. A Marine Corps veteran also, like my brothers and sister over here, 88 to 89. And I was a motor transport operator, 35, 31. And basically now what I work for the longshoremen as a checker, and love the job because of the brotherhood there too, brotherhood / sisterhood. I'm a member of the American Legion. I'm a member of the Marine Corps League, recent member of a DAV, and Women Marines Association, as well as sitting on boards, a couple of boards as well for Backpacks for Life, of course, and then Claymore Vets, which I'm the director of outreach for, and we're kicking off some good events tomorrow. And then what else do I do? Oh, it's general advocacy, as well as making the connections, like Mr. Escalante said. If I'm not a specialist at it, I'll find somebody who is. Who has a contact, who knows what to do, knows where to send them, how to take care of them, and I follow up and make sure that the connection is made. And I work very closely with Lucy on the NJSOS Vet Stakeholders Women Veterans Subcommittee, and proud of the work that we've done, and I'm sure both of us will be talking about some of the fight we still have. And I thank you guys for having me.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Gina. And she did mention Claymore Vets. We'll be sharing more about their event happening in New Jersey that's kicking off with tomorrow. So super excited about that. We'll drop the link so you can all tune in. Next up, we have Nancy Preston.
Nancy.
Hi. Thanks for having me, guys. I live in Manhattan. I have a startup. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Army. And so I enlisted in 1995 as a lowly little private, fresh out of high school, and I got out of the Army in 2009 as a captain promotable. So after all those years and one all-inclusive trip to Iraq, my family and I moved out of the Army and transitioned into the corporate world. And a few years ago, we started this adventure in New York City. It's a social entrepreneurship. So we focus on employing and helping create food businesses with veterans and community members from underserviced and undereducated communities. And I met Brett and Alexa, luckily, because we were in the same cohort together when we were being incubated by the WeWorks Veterans and Residents Program powered by Bunker Labs. So I learned a lot from them. They were actually 3 years older than me as entrepreneurs, and I could remember how inspired I was by them because they just had it going on. They knew what they were doing, and although it looked hard, that's where I wanted to go. And now that I'm in the same time place they were then, I can realize why it looks so hard, because it really is. It only gets harder with more success. And so hopefully I can keep learning from them. But I'm really happy to be part of this discussion. I'm really happy to have found a purpose with the military that survives past my service time. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nancy. And we are always impressed and blown away by you. You do an incredible job in the business you run, and you're just a powerhouse. So I think we have like a little bit of like a Marine Army competition here. I don't know how evenly we were tied. We'll have to tally that. I'm going to tally that. Last but certainly not least, Lucy Delgadio, please introduce yourself.
Hi there. My name is Lucy Delgadio. I am an Army veteran. I served from 1990 to 98, active capacity and reserves. I'm currently in my day job, culture and engagement manager for Prudential Financial. But my hat in the veteran space is very all over the place. I am with Gina, the co-chair of the New Jersey SOS Veterans Stakeholders Committee. We drove the campaign. It was an 18-month campaign to get New Jersey to be the 7th state to honor women veterans on June 12th. And we did that in 2019. I'm also a program manager for the Minority Veterans of America. I am the vice chair of Claymore Vets, and we'll talk more about what Claymore Vets is doing tomorrow. And again, I have my feet deep into a lot of other ventures. Most importantly was the I Am Vanessa Guillen Act. I was there, Brett, with Sherman in that space in the Triangle in Congress when we asked on July 21st for the congressional investigation into the death of Specialist Vanessa Guillen. And it was, yes, like you said, it was powerful in the sense that I couldn't understand why only 2 men stood behind us that day. So thank you for that awareness. Thank you for this opportunity. And I'm really looking forward to having the discussion we're having today.
Thank you. And appreciate all of you coming to this discussion today, taking time out of your day. Female veterans, just veterans in a whole, mean everything to me. I absolutely love serving our male veteran community. I know there was a couple little technical difficulties in the beginning. We just wanted to quickly say those things over again because they're very important to Alexa and I. Hopefully we can, splice that part out in the beginning. But we'll quickly, Alexa, if you wanted to just kind of say what you said in the beginning.
Just for anyone who's just joining us, we are here today. We've got this awesome panel who just all introduced themselves. I just tallied. We've got 5 Marines, 4 Armies. So I don't know. you guys duke that out. I'm the military spouse, so I could even that with the Army if I wanted to. But nonetheless, we're here today to celebrate Women Veterans Appreciation Day, which is tomorrow, June 12th. On our Backpacks for Life social media pages, we have been sharing about women veterans for the last 11 days, sharing more about women veteran issues, statistics about alarming things such as single motherhood, PTSD, military sexual trauma, and a lot of other important issues that we want to bring light awareness and educate others on. We've also been sharing success stories of women in the military and what it was like to serve and serve proudly and all the accomplishments they had along the way. So we're super excited to get into conversation here and talk about some of those topics that we've been sharing over the last 10, 11 days.
I'll start to say it. We started this challenge, the lipstick challenge. It came from, can you guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we started this challenge when I was scrolling through my newsfeed and I saw a gentleman named Sherman who was he was a Marine officer, and he was at this event it was a press conference in support of Vanessa, Justice for Vanessa, which is Lucy was just talking about before, and it was a serious matter that happened. She was murdered, cold-blooded, and her higher ups literally didn't do anything. They didn't even care about this, almost jokingly didn't care, and that was just truly disgusting to me. But seeing this press conference, I saw that there was only 2 men at this press conference. And again, this isn't to talk bad about men and shame them, but this was more so this was me looking internally on what I needed to do to help our sisters in arms, and not help as in, you need help, but more of I'm going to stand side by side, and I'm going to, the least I could do is learn about what is going on. I'm not an expert, and I'm not here today to say I'm an expert, but I'm saying that it's okay to get outside of your comfort zone and show vulnerability to learn about what's going on about something that's different than who you are, how you identify. Just because it's a female topic or issue doesn't mean males can't get involved to help out, and not even just within the military community, but anybody can get involved and help out. So that's kind of where this lipstick challenge is coming from. The lipstick is a part to show vulnerability that, hey, I might be different, and that's okay. And we're here to all join together for a common purpose. So we thought that, how do we get people to stop scrolling on their newsfeed, on Facebook, Instagram, so on, TikTok, whatever it might be? How do we get them to stop? Well, let's do something that's a little outside of the social norms, like men putting on lipstick. And there's, again, nothing wrong with, if you put on lipstick. It's just something that I saw that would be a little taboo, that if you are scrolling through your newsfeed and you see a bunch of, hard charging dudes putting lipstick on, you're going to be like, I'm going to stop and listen, because that is definitely unusual. And so from there, it's something absolutely serious that we're talking about, but why can't we have fun along the way to help get that message out there and pop that military bubble and get it out to the civilian world? Because the military makes a fraction of the U.S. population. So if we just have females talking to females about what's going on, how do we really create that change? And this isn't coming from any of what people need to do better, what you need to do better. This is what I need to do better, and how I could do something, at least do something to help support our female veterans.
Absolutely. So I want to kick things off, and we're going to cover a lot of different topics. Jamie, who's on the call with us, Marine veteran, she's also a program manager with us here at Backpacks for Life. Something that she hears often, and I know, Ashley, you even mentioned this, and it's a common thread that I've seen from a lot of women veterans we've surveyed in the last few weeks, that, people often don't think to thank the woman. If they see a man and a woman out, they don't think to say, thank you for your service. They assume it's the man. So Jamie, I'd love to just kind of hear your input and your insight on that, because I think that was something that you cared deeply about, as like, how can you thank a woman veteran and don't assume it's not them?
Well, when you transition out of the military, in the communities out there, they're not used to seeing females serving anyway. If you're near a military base, that is common to see, and you're going to feel more at home. But you come back to your own communities that you started your service in, you're not going to be seen as a female. We feel like we're cellophane. To this day, I've been, like I said, retired 22 years. Well, even when I was serving for 24 years, I mean, I could be wearing a Marine Corps cover, a T-shirt. It says Marine Corps. It says woman veteran on some of them. And people say, tell your husband thanks for his service. They just don't see me as the veteran. And I've heard that from pretty much every single female, going back, by the way, to World War II female veterans. It's the same thing. And that's why a lot of the older population of female veterans never really saw themselves either as a female vet, because they weren't seen that, accepted in that world. We are now, but my brother Marines, and they have always accepted me, but it's the civilians that don't see me.
Hey, yeah. Hey, Lucy, also too, I know June 12th has a lot more symbolic meaning besides just Women Veterans Day. There's a lot of relevance to why they picked June 12th as that day. Do you mind shedding just a little light on that?
Sure. So June 12th was the day that the Women's Armed Services Integration Act was signed in 1948. So that's why it's such a significant day. It wasn't a unanimous vote. It was a 206 versus 133 people did not want that day to happen. People forget that 150,000 women served in World War II, and the waves, the Army Auxiliary Corps. So it was a day of significance, and that's why June 12th is so special. But June 12th was also a way, we didn't want to take away from Veterans Day. And we don't want to take away from our male population, but we also want the opportunity. So it's a day that we could highlight what's actually happening to us. Like Jamie just said, we are an invisible species. We don't have a lot of indicators that our brothers have. They could have still their high and tight haircut. They could have, certain things. With us, it's a little different. And we still struggle, but also we still struggle within the mechanisms of the military. We struggle in the DOD when it comes to, sexual harassment, sexual assault. We struggle at the VA with the same topic. We also struggle in the VA when it comes to services. We still don't get our due justice and due rights, and it's very difficult. So it's a day again to give us the recognition for who we are as women veterans. We serve just as strongly and as passionately as our brothers did, and it's a day to recognize us, and it's the day to give us our due. We should be recognized every day because we are a force to be reckoned with. But still, it's one day that we asked to be appreciated. Again, New Jersey did a great job, and being the 7th state, only 11 states recognized the day. Again, Mikey Sherrill and Congresswoman Sherrill and Senator Booker are bringing it back to the floor with some support from other legislators, and it's a bipartisan bill to actually make it a National Day of Recognition.
And I've definitely seen a lot of push, especially in 2020, unfortunately, because of two of the prominent in the news events that it took place with our women veterans, and that was with Vanessa Guillen and then also Corporal
Teo, yeah. So the Vanessa Guillen story really catapulted a military Me Too movement that has always again been going on, but it just brought it to light. We were on the heels of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, a lot of racial discrepancies. There was a lot of tension, and then here comes Vanessa Guillen. A weapon could have gone missing, and Fort Hood would have taken it more seriously. And here is a woman who went missing, and they did not take it seriously. And then they found her, and it spurred a movement, and it spurred a really aggressive grassroots movement of women veteran advocates that said, we've had enough, and you need to do better by us. And right now the bill is still not passed. We're still trying to pass it very aggressively between, the I Am Vanessa Guillen bill and JIA, there's still people, they don't want to vote for these things to make a difference for women in the military. But the DOD took a stance and they did the independent review, and that those findings are going to come out. The VA is going to start also an independent review. And, Secretary Austin spoke up yesterday and said that we are going to make the change that women rightly deserve. But remember, assault is a women's issue, but it does not discriminate in the military. And assault and harassment takes place to everybody. And to our brotherhood, our non-binary, our LGBTQ community is incredibly affected. So it does not discriminate. We need to make change, and we have to really go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. I want to kind of continue on this conversation, but also hear from some of the guys in the room, because a big point of us doing this was, like Brett said, why are more of our men at these events? And just, like Brett said, he loves serving alongside women veterans. They were the powerhouses. So Joey, John, would love to hear from you what your experience was. Did you serve with women? Were they with you overseas? What insight do you have, seeing that from your side and knowing how incredible our women veterans are, and, from your perspective, what you think we can do to continue, amplifying their voices? And
really, really quick before you touch that, I just wanted to quickly say, what is the Vanessa Guillen Act? And I just wanted to read it really quick. It would place the decision to prosecute such changes on each service's chief prosecutor rather than the chain of command of the victim or accused. So that was just the core principle and topic of the Vanessa Guillen Act.
Yeah. So John, Joey, would love to hear from you guys, so we can kind of weave this in and how can we bring this all together?
I'll break the ice. A pivotal point where I had an experience with a female Marine while in active duty, because female Marines, they kind of get lost with the male population, and you notice when they started ascending through the ranks. So in OIF, when we deployed in 2003, I had a female Marine. Her name is Sergeant Butler, Kelly Butler. She was a scrawny little, 100 pound, little blonde, and she tried hard. She was assigned to me. I was the watch chief, and she was going up the ranks, and she was learning the ropes for an operations chief. Great Marine. Did her job far and beyond expected what was expected of her. But she had a little issue with her self-esteem. Back then, the female Marines were only the standardization was a flex arm. I'm like, if your ass is working for me, you will learn to do pull-ups. I had no preferences. I had no, I stuck to the standards. I pushed the shit out of her. Excuse my French. I pushed her. I treated her just like any other Marine. And I made me realize that, the female Marines, they're incredible. They have some awesome sauce. It's just the fact that they're a Marine, a fellow Marine. But there's something extraordinary about female Marines. But anyway, I found out with her, I pushed her. Because not only are you going to learn to do pull-ups, you're going to do pull-ups with your flak jacket. You're going to do pull-ups with your equipment. And I made her cry. She gave me a lot of adjectives that, I probably deserved. But I pushed the shit out of her. I pushed her. And fast forward 2 years later, she became the Marine of the Year award. For all the hard work that she did, all the pushing, and she took it. And she demonstrated her medal. And, I was very proud in attendance when she was the recipient of the award in New Orleans. And her and I became very good friends. But she was the pivotal point to realize, not to favor female veterans, push them, empower them. Because a lot of them out in the communities, they don't self-identify as a veteran. They don't self-identify with their service. And sometimes it takes a little nudge. Sometimes it takes a swift kick in the butt for them to come out, empower them, and and they're just rock stars.
I love it.
And this is where, before you talk, this is where I felt nervous. Like, what if I say something wrong about trying to do advocacy work for our female vets? What if I embarrass myself? What if I say something that isn't socially acceptable. And you know what? I always say, if you truly want to help and you're coming from the heart, say what you want to say. If
Absolutely.
you really want to make a difference, and you know what, I'm in it for the right reason, say what you're saying. I know for a fact the female vets, they are going to have your back, and they're going to be there. They might say, hey, you know what, you said this a little wrong, try that. That's fine, you know, but it's okay. Like, this is what this whole thing's about, to show that vulnerability that you might not know, but that shouldn't be a barrier from getting involved. That should be a way that you want to really push through that barrier, make mistakes, say wrong things, say something that might have not been correct, but at least you're doing something. And that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm not here to say, do this or do that, or I know the most about female vets and, you know, I'm the best. No, I don't know. Up until really last year, I didn't know shit, but I wanted to learn. And I said a bunch of wrong things. I said things that could have got me in hot water, but I knew I was doing it because I truly cared.
And just to echo off that, you can say the right things, and there's always somebody lurking in the darkness, ready to jump on you because, you know, they have their opinion and you're wrong. You shouldn't be saying that. But then you have an audience of thousands that might concur with you. So it's a dual-edged sword. But you, like you said, you got to do it. You got to go out there and do it. You know, you pontificate. If you believe in something, you believe in others, push them, empower it. And what do you got to lose? You know, you might have a couple of disgruntled, you know, fan within the fan base, but that's the issue of being a leader. You know, you can, out of 10 people, you'll satisfy 8 and 9. There's always one that's going to say, you suck, or I don't like the way you said that, or I don't believe what you said. But do you spend time trying to convince that one person, or do you spend time carrying the 8 and 9 that believe in what you're saying? So those are the chances you got to take. And that's day in and day out.
Joey?
No, I absolutely love that. You know, for one of my first encounters, so my recruiter, Sergeant Cortez, she was a Marine, right? Or she is a Marine. And so for me going into the Marine Corps, I was like, wow, she's a badass already, right? Coming out of high school, and we were doing PT and stuff. So my mind was already ingrained with, hey, listen, these are badasses, right? Because me going into high school into Marine Corps boot camp, I didn't even have the EGA yet. So then going into the Marine Corps infantry, of course, we didn't have a lot of interactions or anything like that. I was mostly with 99% of the time was my male counterparts. I think it was until after I got out when I started noticing it. And Brett, I love what you said, right? When we come in with a giving heart and, you know, we kind of stumble in our mistakes, but I've seen it of what we're saying, where you kind of assume that the spouse or the male is a veteran, and it's actually the woman who's a veteran. So I'll never, ever make that mistake. But it's just learning. And I think for us to empower and build those relationships and be able to be that voice to back up our sister in arms, I think is amazing. And putting this panel together of a mix. And what I love about this, of being in the military, what I've learned is leadership has no color, has no race. And when I see someone who's in front of me that's leading from the front, I don't care if it's a man, woman, or color, race, creed. It's about leadership. And the women here have exemplified that and have gone through more because they would have to, quote unquote, like kind of like prove themselves. But I absolutely love, like, John's story. Like, hey, listen, I'm going to push this Marine and then become Marine of the Year. So I think with those trials and tribulations come out resiliency and empowerment. So I think that's kind of like our part of what we should do going forward, right? We can't correct what we've done in the past, but moving forward, we should always kind of like empower and be able to be a voice for them and support them. But let me tell you, some of these Marines that I talk to, they don't need support. They're just going out, they're doing what they're doing. You know, a lot of people on this panel, I'm sorry that I keep saying Marines, but and our fellow sisters, right? There's like a segregation within the branches now. No, but there's a lot of women out there that are doing some fantastic work out there. And I just love it. And like I said before, I'm just very honored to be part of this panel where we're able to talk about it and be able to kind of like, hey, we need to address this. So I would say be our part.
And I totally get that support. Sometimes people feel like support is like you're in front pulling them forward. This is more of like support like this, like we're together support, side by side. That's kind of how I look at the support. You know, but I totally get what you're saying. And Nancy, you brought up something in the chat. You were saying the problem of that plagues our military of sexual assault, trauma, harassment. It doesn't just it has no gender boundary right there. So this really could affect anybody. I know, sexual assault isn't just honed in on females, and that's not just the discussion right now about sexual assault, but just that's a big issue right now with our female vets. But it's also a male issue as well, and we really need to work together to, find a better way to deal with these issues.
Yeah, when we talk about appreciation for veterans, I love being a veteran almost more than I loved when I was in the military, because I felt like there's a lot more offered to me as a veteran. I have so many more benefits, and I could actually go to school, and I could get a house with my VA loan. There were so many opportunities for me as a veteran that I didn't realize were out there until I came out of the military. And so I feel like there are some really great things that are happening for veterans as a whole and women veterans specifically. But I really liked what people are saying about the kind of the care and attention of our military members that happen to be women, because sometimes our issues are seen as not as soldier issues, are seen as a specific cohort's issue instead of a whole team issue. And some of the examples that I have that still I think about, and they affect me as a leader today and a decision maker today. One of these examples is when we're in Iraq, there are policies in place, and one of the policies is that there's no inappropriate material, graphic material on your computers, on your personal computers. And so everyone deploys with their personal computer and their military computer. And I remember one of the women that was sharing a tent with me, because I shared a tent with 11 women for 15 months, that when she got her personal computer fixed by one of her friends in IT on our fob, there were some private pictures of her, and then they were distributed. They were taken from her computer and then distributed, and she got in trouble. Now, today I don't think that, I hope that wouldn't happen, that if someone stole material off of my computer and distributed it, that I wouldn't be one that got in trouble for having them. But I think the bigger problem was the person that stole them from her computer didn't see her as part of the team. And if you saw everyone, if they're a man or a woman, as just part of your team, you would treat them a lot differently than you would when you think about someone as a female service member versus a male service member. And I think that once we get past that and we could just see each other as part of the team, then it would make a huge difference to how well we're integrated.
Yeah, I think you make such a good point, Nancy, and you said this whole thing about being visible. And I want to turn it to Gina, because this goes really well with an event that's happening tomorrow in New Jersey called Making the Invisible Visible, hosted in collaboration with Claymore Vets and a bunch of our awesome women veterans here in New Jersey. It's going to be held from 2 to 4 p.m. tomorrow at the Bridgewater Commons Mall. So we're going to share that link about the event in the chat. But Gina, I'd love for you to share a little bit about this event and what's going to be happening.
So, okay, there's so much. So it's a collaboration between Claymore Vets and Frontline Arts, as well as the Bridgewater Commons Mall. They're looking to get foot traffic into the mall, and they offered, we were looking for space as an organization to in the Somerset area, or Somerville area, I should say. Anyway, so what this is an art gallery opening, displaying all works of art on different type of media, from clay to photography to poetry. And all of the artwork is done by women veterans. There will be a uniform display of different eras. There's going to be an awesome keynote speaker who is the senior drill instructor of our founder, Maria Salazar, former senior drill instructor of her platoon 4026. I don't know what year, way after me, way after Jamie. And her name is Sergeant Major Robin Fortner. And apparently she's extremely motivating. And she's coming in from Virginia to do that. And we're really looking forward to that reception. So it was decided that because it was going to be around this weekend, that we would combine it and make it a celebration of Women Veterans Appreciation Day. Since last year with COVID, which would have been the first annual, and we really couldn't do anything. So and it's been embraced, and it's going to be a really empowering event. That I know specifically Maria's put a lot of effort into, and we as a board have been trying to support her as much as she lets us. She's a Marine also, and we just have a hard time delegating, apparently, at least in the NCO level. I don't know about the staff NCO and up, but yeah, so that's what is transpiring. And then let's see, we're going to have a color guard that fell through. So it's just going to be, there'll be poetry. It's just for people to come in, embrace, and understand that women are veterans. Women did serve, but it's Claymore Vets is like a play on words, right? Because as military members, we all know there's the face towards the enemy, right? So the logo is art towards the enemy, because a lot of times we see ourselves and civilians see us, because we're veterans, as destructive, as explosive. And the Claymore Vets is trying to change that paradigm to say, yeah, we were that, but now we can create beauty, and we can create connection, and be creative and continue post-traumatic growth. Is one of the things that Maria has said in the past. Instead of looking at it as post-traumatic disorder, it's post-traumatic growth if you're moving forward in the forward direction. So that's kind of a brief overview from the outside what Claymore Vets is about. I don't want to really speak on behalf of Mia, because it's her baby, it's her thing. So we're just there to give her that support. But like for myself, like one of the things that John had said about his Marine that he was pushing out there, what I've learned and what I've seen in myself, and all these years later, because like specifically Marine Corps, because that's my knowledge, it has expanded. If you raise the bar, we'll exceed that bar, no matter how high the bar goes. So by only making us do the arm flex hang 70 seconds, yeah, I could do that. At the time, could I do a pull-up? Probably. Could I do one now? No. But I don't have to do one now. See, I'm a veteran. That's one of the things.
Second that.
I can push you.
Yeah. But
yeah, I'll dash 17.
Yeah, so and honestly, I actually was discharged after only 8 months for being a homosexual, before Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And so my perspective is a little bit different, because I wasn't afforded the opportunity to serve as long as my brothers and sisters here, when at the time that had been my plan all along, was to be career Marine. So in my case, within the veteran community, I continue my enlistment. So they cut my enlistment short by 3 years and 4 months. I continue that and beyond. And that's how I try to do any kind of engagement that I have with the community, including I Am Vanessa Guillaume, because and it's horrible to say, she wasn't the first one. I feel like within a year they lost, I think it was 24 murders or missing soldiers. And I might be wrong with that statistics, but I'm no very, very close to the mark on it. And you know, we're putting the wolves in charge of the sheep, you know, and that has to change. And I think that's what that act is about. And just to jump off real quick on what Lucy was saying about the June 12th, 1948. So what that act did was it allowed women to continue to serve, enlist on a full-time basis. Because before that act was signed, they would serve to free up a man to fight. And then when the guys got home, they went home to taking care of their kids or getting married or whatever they did, but they received no benefits. There was no veteran benefits. They didn't get loan. They weren't seen. They were just civilians. They were women that served, and then they were civilians, and they never were considered a veteran. So the division that a lot of folks, like, one of the things that you were just talking about is how you know, we can come together. So we're looking at unity, and a lot of folks say, well, a separate Women Veterans Day, that's division. That's division. And initially I thought that too. Here we are trying to fight to be held as equals, and now all of a sudden you're going to have a separate day. But it's fortunate that we can actually look towards the Vietnam Veterans Day now, because there is a separate Vietnam Veterans Day, because those warriors needed their own way to shine, you know. And that's the thing. When we want to bring everybody together to recognize male and female brothers and sisters that we served right alongside you. We had to work 3 times as hard to get half of the recognition that our brothers got. And we still voluntarily did that. See, like, we volunteered to do that, and we have been doing it for well over 100 years. So I'm just really super proud of all the ladies here and all you guys, and all of the support that we can get, because if women are 1% of the total of the armed forces, how are we going to make that fight? How are we going to make our message heard when 99% are males? If you men don't get involved, you know, the scales are tilted wrong. So we want everybody together to do that, and part of that is to appreciate and to foster the idea of a Women Veterans Appreciation Day. So I got to thank all you guys, you know, for being on board, and Brett, your thought process, however you got there, I'm grateful you did, and I'm super not excited to try this lipstick challenge, but I will, and I am. I'm very, very grateful. It's not Montezuma Red, otherwise known as Victory Red, which was what us Marines used to have to wear. I don't know when they stopped that, Jamie. She might know better than I do, but yeah. So Claymore Vets is coming in hot. We have there's a T-shirt, and it's coming in hot.
Awesome.
And you know, I didn't pick all of you ladies to get on this just because, well, one, yes, I did pick because you're all very influential veterans in not just my perspective, but just the military perspective. But I seriously look up to all of you. When I see all of you posts and just successful or just content to let people know, statistical content to let people know what's going on, like, I seriously look up to all of you, and I think you're just inspiration, and you are what people need to have a role model, or what a role model is or should be is you ladies. And I'm just in awe. I think you're all incredible. I think you're awesome. When I see one of you post something, I will send it to my brother or my dad, like, oh, I know her, I've been in contact with her, my dad's like, that sounds kind of weird. I'm like, oh no, I've seen them, not just on the digital screen and stuff. So I really look up to all of you, and that's literally one of the biggest parts of why I asked you to join this. And I think this is so cool to talk about this. Actually, I actually work with Gina on the docks. I took this week off for vacation to, really get all of my information. I mean, I have tons and tons and tons of notes. I have like 50 pages of notes, information. I went on Lucy's Facebook last night for like 6 hours, just getting all this valuable information that I want to constantly post out there. So this isn't going to end today. This is going to be an ongoing journey, and I am going to literally make sure that I'm going to be very persistent and make sure that we get more and more gentlemen out there just putting that lipstick on. Just a funny, interesting way to get the message out there.
Yeah, we're going to get to the lipsticks challenge in just a few. I know we've been hyping it up. I want to go over to Ashley, and if you missed our post of Ashley on our Instagram and Facebook, sorry for the glare, but we posted this awesome picture of Ashley, and we asked her, what is one thing you want people to know about women veterans? And she said, own her story, like her history, but her story. And I think it's so powerful, Ashley. I'd love for you to just expand on that and the work that you do to advocate for women veterans.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. And I am super motivated. This is a great group. And I just want to say that I have family in New Jersey. So I'm like a New Jersey by second implant because I know we got a lot of New Jersey folks in here. But my in laws are in like Galloway Township. So I'm just going to shout them out. Hi, Mom, Dad. So anyway, so shout out to my New Jersey friends. But I do appreciate you having me on here. When I say like celebrate, honor, and tell her story, tell your story, share your story. I have often found that, to say that I am not invisible is a double negative, right? If we look at the socio-cultural patterns of from World War II to all the way up to present, we can see the changes that the Serving Women's Integration Act has left, right? These decades upon decades of, of law and policy that has changed. We have women first. We have women every day who are still breaking glass ceilings. And I always tell folks, make sure you have your sneakers on because there's glass everywhere. As a former military police, sergeant, I was very, I had a great opportunity. I was in a co-ed basic training and individual advanced training. And, this was around 2012, 2011 timeframe. And, I served alongside men in a more predominantly male occupation. And when I trained with them, we worked together. We were running the same miles. We were carrying the same amount of weight. And to the points that have been made earlier, right? Like there is a lot of extra things that women have to do to prove their worth in the space. And there's always a lot of pressure, right? Because if I've always found if the thought was if one thing happens to one singular woman, it seems to reverberate and echo like a chamber and then it applies to all women, which is not the case. So when I'm telling folks to share their stories, like I want to know the good, bad, and the ugly, because the more that we can be vulnerable and honest with ourselves about our experience, we have no idea that that could be a page out of a page to someone else's survival guide, especially for the generations of women who have come before us. And I've been a huge advocate for the Military Women's Memorial, which is located right outside of Arlington National Cemetery. National Cemetery. I can even tell you tomorrow they're doing an appreciation appreciation event tomorrow to commemorate and celebrate the progress, the things, the first of first, the women who are the trailblazers, the women who have not yet raised their right hand. And it is so vital that we archive and share those stories. I know when I had recorded or shared and inputted my story, I know that one day my great grandchildren will know that their Grams was a total badass. She may have been in for 8 years. She may have done X, Y, and Z, but that's a legacy. And I think all of the women on here and all of our allies, all of our male counterparts that stand alongside us and support us are so important. So a lot of my advocacy work is both educating folks on the statistics of women in service and how we can come together, because I really do believe that her story matters, and it matters in so many areas, in employment, to benefit use, to how we utilize our healthcare, to military sexual trauma. How do we combat that? How do we get folks where they need to be? And how do we ensure that women are completely and utterly confident that when they step out of that uniform, they're going to be successful? So as an advocate, knowing that, we're celebrating 72 years of the Women's Armed Service Integration Act, and I want to just leave this with you all, is that is the difference between a generation. My grandmother, who did not serve, but wanted to, could not, she is 70 years old. Okay, that's my grandmother. Like, that's, if you like thinking about the ages, that's 3 generations of women. So when folks are always constantly like, oh, well, we've made so much progress, have we? We will continue to, absolutely, because all of the women on this call and our male allies are going to make things happen and things move. But think about that. Think about the generational impact and the things that we do now. I was very proud. In 2019, I was one of 2 to provide, proponent testimony for Ohio Women's Appreciation or Women's Veteran Day. And it passed in December of 2019. And unfortunately, we could not do an Ohio official event. And that's where I'm originally from, even though I'm in DC. But knowing that there are maybe 11, 12, 13 plus states out there who are taking the time to recognize what women are doing and contributing to our communities, because we all know, and this is, I'm telling you, for everyone veteran I met, whether I've been in the Legion, in the VA, there is a such thing as second service, and we all find our second service, and it continues, and we are change makers, and we will do everything that we can. So my call to action for all listening today is be an ally, support the women alongside of you. We're in this together, right? And share and record your her story with the Women's Military Memorial. And don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Let people know you're a service. Be the first one to extend your hand on Veterans Day in November and say, yeah, thank you. I appreciate my service too. That'll raise some eyebrows. That'll get some people looking. I promise you.
Yeah.
So be loud and be proud. Be loud and be proud, ladies, because you do amazing things every day. Every day. That sign beside me, behind me, says I can and I will. And I thank all of the men in my life, the allies in my service, just as the story described before, that pushed me to be the best version of myself today, along with the women who support me and are still the framework for everything that I do. So that's a little bit about me. That's why I do what I do. And thank you for having me on here.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So we want to, thank you. I really appreciate that.
That was like a mic drop moment.
I know. I just I guess we ended right there. But no, I want to have a couple other people have the chance to talk. I know we're going a little over time, so before anybody has an excuse to kind of have to get off,
out of our challenge.
Try the challenge, do the challenge. Really quickly, we want to pledge. I just call it the Women's Veteran Memorial, but I want to use the actual name. It's the Women in the Military Service for American Memorial. We want to pledge $500 towards the memorial to help them out. Also, all of you ladies, I want you to message us of a woman veteran service organization that really means a lot to you. That's dear in your heart, near and dear to your heart. And we want to also pledge $250 for each one of those organizations that you pick. So that's kind of what we will do today. That's what we can help out with at this time.
Yeah.
We also have our woman veteran shirt, but we'll talk about all that in a quick second before we get to talk about those things. Let's kick off the challenge.
Yeah, we're gonna lipstick challenge because we've gone over time. That's what happens when you go live, right? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and here we are. So we're gonna get lipstick ready. Who else is ready to join us?
Brett and Alexa, just very quickly, tomorrow, if you're in the Times Square area, go to Times Square. The Women's Memorial is being highlighted all day for June 12th. So please go take a look and see, and take a picture of yourself. So all your New Yorkers, please, by all means. Yep.
All right. Now, we've all got a special red lipstick here. You'll see on the bottom of our screen. This was custom blended for Backpacks for Life by House of Beauty, a great small business here in Bergen County, New Jersey. And this shade is called Roger That. So we're all kicking off the lipstick challenge, throwing on our red, and we're going to nominate other people to join us. Yeah, we have no mirrors. This is going to end horribly. Thank you, Jamie. We're going to all look like clowns at the end of this. But
Lucy, I'm not sure if you heard when you said little technical difficulties. We want to pledge $500 to the Women's Veteran Memorial down in DC. We also want each one of you ladies to pick a nonprofit that's near and dear to your heart, a woman veteran focused nonprofit. And we're also going to pledge $250 to each one of those organizations. We have a women's veteran shirt that you could purchase online. $6 for every shirt sold goes to the goes down to the woman in military service American Memorial. Okay, they did.
They rebranded, so it's shorter now. It's Military Women's Memorial. But when you buy this shirt from our website, portion of your proceeds go directly to serving the memorial.
And then obviously the other portion goes right to our nonprofit. So let's kick this off. Let's get this out there. Let's show that it's okay to show vulnerability for a woman or for our LGBTQ plus community, or however you identify. It's okay to show vulnerability, and we're willing to get outside of our comfort zone and spread that message through the lipstick challenge. So let's get that lipstick out and let's get it going.
So I don't make myself look like
here we go.
Here, but
I'm not putting on the lip. I'm putting on
You go first, Joey.
Joey, you gotta do it. I haven't put on a red lip in like a year.
How do you work this thing? How do you work this thing? Where's the instructions?
You scroll it up. You scroll it up. You like push it up, and then like I think.
Come on, John. I know you know.
Did I?
John, you gotta make sure you unmute it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not usually a red lipstick fan, but this is really looking good for me.
I think I might have missed the lips a little bit.
Yeah, I think you got it. It makes it look the lines a little bit. Okay, then.
Now, you are interested in getting this lipstick. House of Beauty in Bergen County, New Jersey, cut some blood did this for us. It's called Roger That. We are happy to get you some. Nancy's done. I'm interested. I want
I'm so happy.
Joey, you're not supposed to be eating it. It's not a crayon.
It's not a crayon, Marie.
Oh, wait, hold on. If you're playing this is definitely, Joey, I feel you. You got to get the crayon.
Now,
I have no idea what Brett's doing, but that's not your lips, bro.
Yeah, not the best, but leave it to a Marine to do that. So with this
Brett has bad aim, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, terrible aim.
Oh wait, I was a machine gun in the Marines. I had pretty good aim. I think I got my lip.
How are your lips doing? Is red for you?
Well, you look pretty as always.
Pretty as could be.
How hard was that? It is okay. You know, get outside that comfort zone. Literally, it is okay, people. Let's do this together.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to keep this challenge going. Now,
we're all going to nominate people, and this is how it works. So we're all going to post a picture of ourselves on social media with our lipstick. We've got some great instruction cue cards that we'll also post. And we're going to nominate 5 people each because we want to continue spreading this message far and wide. Let our women veterans know that we are there beside you, celebrate you, and get everyone involved with something that's fun and makes you stop scrolling. So with that, we'll be posting just after this all the instructions. We also have DV Radio. They're tuned in live right now. They're going to be sharing something. It's called Disabled Veterans Radio. They're going to be sharing all about the lipstick challenge.
People are stopping in there, listening to what we have to say.
So they're going to be sharing their radio show. Challenge. If you're interested in our Roger That lipstick, send us a message. We're super excited to have had you all here. You all crushed it. You thought we were crazy when we told you about this, but here we are. It's real. It's the real deal.
Got Steve Brees, Steve Neal, James DiPiazza. Who else did I have on that list? I have like a list of like 20 people, so don't worry.
For you on social
We're
media,
gonna be coming for you. I'm gonna make sure you're posting that. We'll have the hashtags for you, like Alexa mentioned, that you can post, and let's keep this going.
Yeah. So I want to thank everyone to have this conversation, and like everybody said, I'm going to echo. This is just the beginning. We are going to hard charge forward. Continue to fight for our women veterans. We'll be posting this weekend at the Claymore Vets event and more women that are coming up throughout the month and beyond. So I want to thank everyone for joining us for the Lipstick Challenge kickoff. We'll be posting some instructions on how you can get involved if you're interested on our social media pages.
Don't forget, you can obviously say now or give us the whole list of everybody who you nominated. Feel free to talk about who you'd like to nominate now.
If you call them out publicly, I guess that means they
because we're gonna
David
tag-
Pearson.
David
yeah.
Pearson.
David
Yes, David
Pearson.
Pearson and AJ Luna need to put some lipstick on.
Oh yeah, we'll get them tomorrow. We'll corner them tomorrow or Sunday. And Jeff Cantor,
David
you're welcome
Cameron.
to be nominated.
Oh, I'm 100%.
Tori Fisher, Joe Zalita.
Oh yeah.
Joe Zaletta, Tori, you're on.
All right. They have no idea. They're about to be blindsided. But with that, I want to thank all of you from the veteran community for joining us, for sharing your stories, for helping us bring awareness to some of those issues that we want to work on. We want to bring awareness to our civilian friends and really just kick this lipstick challenge off with a bang. I think we did it pretty successfully.
Yeah. Obviously, feel free if you have to get off. Totally fine. We're here. People want to talk or have something to share.
Happy hour will be here. If you have to go, we appreciate you. We love you. Happy Women Veterans Appreciation Day. Thank you for your service. We love you, you badass women. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you so much.
And,
yeah, you can.
We're supposed to take our own pictures?
So we're supposed to take our own pictures? You're going to take a picture of yourself. You can actually do it while we're on the live, and then go and post it. When you post it on Instagram, awesome.
Can we do it? Can I use a mirror first and then take a picture, or you want this?
You can totally do that. You can post it at a later date. Oh, did you want to put on lipstick too?
Give him that lipstick.
Yeah.
Feel free to leave us if you have to.
We're gonna hog tie and put it on.
And we're gonna chat a little bit more about this lipstick challenge on. If anyone's just tuning in,
I'll keep it on my face. It's all
embrace
good.
it.
I just gotta embrace it. I'm pretty sure I'll get out of it.
Go to work.
It's part of you now, Brett.
Yeah.
Gina, I got this week off. I get back to work on Monday, but no.
I'm just saying, go to work anyway.
Oh yeah, no. Hey, I'm gonna keep putting this. You know what? If I figure if I'm gonna do it in front of people and just keep putting lipstick on, and then I feel like you're gonna stop and ask, and then I can talk about women issues. So that's my way to constantly get it in. Also, you'll see statistics out there. I had one up of so in 2017, just usually it's backlogged, so you don't really have something from 2020. In 2017, there were 6,769 reports of sexual assault. That was 2017. And then 2016, there were 6,172. So there was an increase of 9.7%. However, that's people who just come come to the public that report. Hey, I mean, ladies, that's probably like 1/4 or maybe 40%. I wouldn't say 50, but 40% of what actually goes on. So sometimes those statistics, you might look at it and they're still increasing. Think of like triple in that or quadruple in that statistic.
I think what you'll find too is folks who, as we spread awareness and it becomes more socially accepted to go forward, you will see those reporting numbers increase. But I think we all have a responsibility in service. If for service members out there, right, call to action would be, check on your battles, check on your friends, check on your strong friends too, because you never know. Like, some folks are really good at putting on a show and wearing a facade, and you just, when you know someone, if something's up. Ask those questions. Be tactful, but ask those questions because you care. Don't let something like that, just kind of slide by or think that it's not important, because you could save a life. You could you could be that resource. You could be that person's first point of contact, first touch, right? They need you. Others need you. And in the military community, you will find that as well, especially for folks, even like myself. Like, I am an MST survivor. It wasn't great. I didn't have all of those resources. I was told I was at fault. And there will be folks still that will get that same message. And it is our job out there, and it's our responsibility to let them know that they are not alone, that we will be there, that we will check on them. We will make sure that they are taken care of, because that's what we have to do. We have to, have to be there for one another. And I think to Brett's point, there are 3 million women that have served to date in our military. 2 million living women veterans, and we are the fastest growing veteran population. And I believe it's the 2017 reports, we make up about 70% of the total military force. So with over 230,000, women currently serving from all variations to guard, reserve, active duty, there are opportunities for corporate entities, for nonprofits, for the VA, for everyone who may not have a connection to the military connected community to make a difference, or to be that person, to reach out and show compassion. So I have to echo that sentiment. I think it's so important that we address these issues.
Yeah, it really is. And to keep talking about it, right? Keep the conversation going. Like having these conversations we're having right now. Quick update that it appears by research by Nancy Preston, the only thing that can remove red lipstick is dog licks. So Terrell,
I got those. I'm good.
Dog, and
hold on, you guys, Kajaki, hold on.
we've got our resident.
It's science.
So
Actually, my dog right here. How about this dog?
you'll do a good job. Do a good job.
I don't know where my two are at. They've been surprisingly quiet. Oh, I have one sitting right over here. I had to specially I now have 3 dog beds in my house, dog beds. I have to have 2 in the bedroom, and I have one that I mobilize into my office.
Oh wow, that's dedication. Oh, Gina's
love to be by
dog
me.
ready to go.
Oh.
All right, Terrell, how you feeling? I'm checking in. How you feeling after the lipstick challenge?
I'm feeling great. I'm ready to put it on and post and get talking. I'm ready for all my followers to be shocked. They're like, what's that? And then I can explain, this is what it's about. Women are amazing anyway. And then women veterans, they're just super amazing. The fact that me being, a manly man and doing something like this, I love it because, sometimes you gotta put down your guard and you gotta bring attention to things that's important. And women veterans are very important. Me in basic training, while I was in basic training, I went to Fort Jackson, relaxing Jackson, they say. And it was co-ed. It was men army and women army. And the thing was, there was this one, I'm pretty sure there was more, but there was this one who was tiny and she maxed out on her PT test. And my first PT test, I didn't max out. I passed, but I didn't max out. And she was my motivation to go, if she could do it, I can do it. And it was in my mind of going, none of the guys were doing it, so I couldn't look at them, but I looked at her. And then push forward years later, when I was in Iraq, I witnessed while we were on the phones in 2005 and Baghdad, Iraq, I watched women vets now, but I watched women soldiers on the phone talking and singing lullabies and controlling things at their house while the guys were at home controlling things like while they were abroad. And it was just amazing to me, like you're in a dangerous environment, you're fighting for your country, you're supporting everyone, but you're taking care of things at home as well. So that just shows me the strength of a woman vet furthermore. And it really pisses me off, excuse my language, it really makes me mad when someone says, oh, that's a vet right there. And they're talking about me, they're referring to me, but then they say, oh, that's a woman vet. It's like, why do you have to put a woman vet on there, but you're saying it in a patronizing way? It's pretty good. If you're a vet, you're a vet. You don't have to put a label on it, a gender on it. And if you do put a gender on it, say it with some pride, some dignity, because women vets are amazing. They're strong. Some of them are stronger than men. And, just like they make up 70% of the military right now, the thing is like we need more attention. This lipstick challenge, I commend you guys on it because when I post my pictures, I'm gonna do a really good post on it, and people need to know about it. Don't worry about the fact of what somebody's gonna say. We need to draw more attention. Tomorrow is Women's Veterans Appreciation Day, but there needs to be more besides just one day. We need to do it more often. Women are amazing. Women vets are super amazing, and this should not be the end of it. It's only the start. So I thank you guys for that.
That was we actually posted a statistic, and this actually caught me off guard. We posted this about, you forget that, like when I was over in Afghanistan, I just focused on surviving and working with my I really didn't have anything to worry about when back in, you know, the home front. But you brought a perfect point. Like, they have children, like they have to constantly talk with them at home and deal with those things back at home. They're women that have children that are back at home. So it's like, I commend you. Like, that is, like, I couldn't even focus on, let alone focus at home. I couldn't focus on myself and deal with these things. And when I was deployed overseas, so to deal with that, but also deal with your family at home, that's huge right there.
They're amazing. They're amazing. They're amazingly strong. Intelligent is just, you know, upper echelon, what they have to deal with and what they do.
It should be a given, though. Like, it just, it pissed me off that I have to, like, it should be a given. But hey, you know what? I can't fault anybody because there's a lot of stuff going on out there. And, you know, we just have to educate with love and kindness and just let people know. I could feel frustrated, but also I have to understand that people just might not know. So that's okay. And we're here to let you know what's going on.
Exactly. Exactly. Well,
just real quick, Brett, you had said at the beginning, you know, that, and about the guys like maybe being afraid to say something or whatever. But if you see, you might, of course, he's got to get in on it. I would take you aside and say, you know what, there may have been a better way to say it. You know, like you know what I mean? Like, I would tell you, but I'm not like. Everyone said, you're not going to make everybody happy 100% of the time. But if you come with kindness and love in your heart and truth and honesty, you're approachable, and we appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm not going to speak for anybody else. I appreciate
you appreciate the effort made, and there's always
exactly. And then I could be like, you know, there was one thing that you said, and then maybe this or that, you know, and then, but it's all good, and we're super excited about this, and I'm glad you guys are coming out tomorrow. And
we've got people having to leave. Ashley just dropped out. Nancy's got to leave. Ashley's in the Military Women Memorial tomorrow. We'll be doing a video for lipstick. So thank you guys all so much for joining us. We're so excited to kick off this challenge. We're going to post more in the next coming days about a bunch of women veterans events happening. So stay tuned. Roger that lipstick for our lipstick challenge. It's underway. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to Facebook and YouTube. We're excited to kick this off. And most importantly, thank you to women veterans. See you soon. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.